Better Player workshop. I'm really sure that you're gonna enjoy the knowledge about what I'm gonna say to you. And hopefully after this workshop, you're gonna start to play slightly better standard and beat better players at the moment than compared to you. Okay, so I will put camera on. Okay. One second. One second. Okay, we have 4 people already. Okay, so there are 2 things you have to consider. First is your current form, and second, your level. What is the difference? So your form is how you play at the moment during that day, during that tournament, up to 1 month, and everything what is above 1 month, your standard is your level. So 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months with whole year. So let's say if we talk about different players, let's say Jordan Brown, who won Welsh Open 1 year ago. So at that tournament, his form was good compared to his level. Before the tournament, he was 70, 80 ranking, something like that. He won the Welsh Open. So that means he played better than his current form. And Ronnie, who is way above level to him, lost the final. And Ronnie on that final played below his level. His form on that match wasn't as good as his actual level. So those players who have better level are usually more consistent players. So if we talk about best players in the world, like Mark Selby, Judd Trump, John Higgins, Mark Williams, basically players who've been to the top 16 for a long time, their level is better than other players. Now the question is what you need to do to raise your form. And that's a very interesting request because there is actual ways to improve that. And I'm going to show you practical ways to achieve that. Okay, so you have to be very, very honest with yourself. Let's say you are 80 break player, yeah, and you are gonna play against 100 break player, and your cube control is not as good as it could be, yeah. So if you want to improve your, let's say, scoring game, let's say you know that you're losing cube too much, and you need to get to the close cube control form. So it's very reasonable only for the half an hour in your practice to do 1 drill. So you know that your opponent is scoring heavier than you, so you need to do a little bit more so you could level up different. So for example, when there is lots of reds around the black, so your goal is to score everything in this drill. And this is a good drill because you need to keep your close cube control. So that's a reasonable drill to do for you to improve it. And if you do 1 or 2 weeks prior those kind of exercise, likely, very likely, during tournament play, in this department, you're gonna play much better than you usually do. And you're not gonna score 16 break and over. You're gonna score maybe 25, 32, maybe 40 break. And that's how you can raise your form in this regard. So, you can do close cube control drill. And if it doesn't happen, it's all fine. So you get the idea. You work on your close cube control strategically. Let's say you come to the table for the 5 times per week. You do half an hour close cube control drill, and you measure your results. And let's say when you are in the tournament, usually you score, your average break is 16.25, and you come to the tournament and you all of a sudden start to make 32.40. It means that at this tournament your form raised up, and you have a chance to beat a player who is slightly above you. Let's talk about tactical side. So you know that you are losing lots of frames on the last colors. Yeah? So let me just put black on the spot. And let's say I'm gonna take colors. Okay. So you know that lots of frames. I need a blue, so there was a order. Sorry, guys. Now, I was talking about tactical stuff. So if you're tactically weak and you're losing on the last balls, what kind of exercise you can do to improve your tactical side? So my suggestion for you is to put color balls to the random positions. You can use yellow ball, you can use green ball, it doesn't matter. And you start to play tactical frame, something what is unusual. So in this case, let's say the result is more or less 1-0, 2 points. So in this case, there is no point to play yellow ball. So I play tactically, yellow ball, cue ball behind the black, and yellow ball in between this side here. So I could make snooker. So I play attacking double. And you just play with yourself solo. This is pretty hard shot. If I'm gonna cut the yellow ball here, yellow ball is gonna go this side, and very likely I'm gonna leave something here. So I just have to think about solutions. So maybe I can just roll the yellow ball and just make sure that I'm not leaving anything to my opponent. Of course, it's not something magical I did, but I didn't left opponent something. And when you play tactical frames like this, you're learning a lot about the game. You're learning about subtleties. Not only you're doing a T lineup, or something brick building related, you actually learning the game. And when you're gonna play in the high pressure tournament situations, very likely you're gonna know what to do. And lots of frames are tactical, so you can take the frame from the better player. And that's what I always say to my students, you have to be very strong all-around player to win matches. And those players who are tactically solid and have close cube control, in Q school, usually winning. Experienced players who've been in the tour for more than 5-10 years, usually they have advantage in that regard, and they have advantage in close cube control. Usually their cube control is better because they adapt to new conditions and they just know how to play a game more simple compared to youngsters who are putting everything, but their cube is loose and tactically are not good. So that's why they cannot win 6 matches in a row, because it's very difficult. You have to have a very strong all-around game ability. So let's go back to the practical side. So now I left myself snooker, so I have to think I have to hit yellow ball, not to leave to my opponent. So I'm gonna play a little bit firmer pace. I'm gonna try to kick here and leave the cube here, and yellow is gonna go hopefully to that side. It's difference, Anyways, you see, I played in such a speed so I could separate yellow ball and cue ball. And even if I didn't hit well, I still in the game. And when you play like that, you're gonna always have random situations which you always have in the match. And that's the beauty. That's how you can improve your form. Here I have yellow ball, almost too close to the cushion, so I can play attacking double kiss shot. Attacking in that sense that the cue ball is gonna go back here, so I'm gonna hit to the right side of the yellow ball, and hopefully the cue ball is gonna land there. So I'm playing low on the cue ball. Yeah, look at this. So in this case, I played how I wanted, and you see what kind of position it is. It's a very hard yellow ball. Yes, of course, you can attack that shot, but if you miss, there's a very high chance probability you're gonna leave yellow ball. So from here, I can play safety shot because there is no point to attack because it's very risky. So I just play safe, simple shot like this. And once again, I use brown ball as a cover ball. So imagine how much you can improve just by doing those tactical stuff without changing anything in your game. Your winning percentage in the close games is going to improve massively. In that department, you're just going to be so much stronger to other players. It's unbelievable. And imagine if you are so tactically strong, how mentally you're going to be strong. Mentally, you're just going to be, okay, I know what to do in every situation. Now I have to just go to practice, improve my technique or whatever. But even if you don't have any form, you're still gonna win more games because you're tactically so strong. And that's what's happening in European championships. Youngsters are playing against experienced players, let's say 6 reds, which is tactical game. And experienced players are winning because they're making better decisions than youngsters because of experience, because of their, better mental attitude, many reasons. This is a perfect exercise to improve your form, like immediately, if you do, a couple of times per week. So, I'm saying for my young students, yes, as a youngster, you have to play with lots of freedom, lots of carefree approach, but also time to time, learn tactical subtleties because that's gonna make you a very strong all-round player. Okay, now I'm gonna answer the questions. Kind of guide me how I can produce screenshots deep and soft. Okay, so a very good exercise to work on soft screwback shots and also improve your form on that regard is to set the pink and put 2 or 3 red balls to one side. If you are a right-hand player, right-handed player, do from this side where as a right-hand player you can easily reach the table. If you are a left-hand player, do from opposite side. But the most important feeling that you just work on, soft screwback shots, close cue ball control. So this is a great exercise. As the beginner, maybe start with the 2 reds. If you, let's say, are 30, 40 break player, to build confidence, because that's very important. If you want to, improve your performance in the tournament, you have to build confidence. Start small and gradually build difficulty. So slightly off straight angle, cue ball position right there. And you see, now I have to play screwback shot position here. So I already messed up because I wanted to make position right here so I could play here. So this time I'm learning from my mistake. Now I have a little bit better angle. Once again, I have to play a little bit more like that. And you'll play all shots to one pocket. I cannot think better exercise for soft screw back shot drill. It's just the best because you have to have perfect aiming on the cue ball, height wise. You have to have a nice smooth delivery because if you're gonna play too hard, you're gonna play cue ball is gonna move too much. If you're gonna play too slow, you're not gonna have good angle anyways because you want to lift cue ball a little bit higher. So now I have a little bit lower red ball. I still have to cue very smoothly. And position for the pink. So when you get good, you just put one more red. I personally do with the 5 reds. So I need to score 5 reds with the 5 pinks. And that's how, you're building that kind of amazing cue ball control. And when you're gonna go to in the match, everything's gonna look so simple. And that's the way to build a form. You know your weaknesses. You do correct practices without distractions. That's another topic which I want to talk about. But anyways, do without any distractions. And there is no chance that you're not gonna improve. You're always gonna improve if you do correct exercise. Remember, guys, be honest with yourself, know your weaknesses, work on them, and your form, and after some time, ability is gonna raise at any level, at any age. Remember that. Yes, you can work on your technique. Yes, you can go to every YouTube video and listen every possible theory about something. But if you don't know your specific problem, if you don't know what are your weaknesses and how to work with them, you're not gonna improve. But if you know specifically what's going on with yourself, then you can improve. And that's why I provide for the people free consultation with me. And you can freely just PM me on, there is lots of information on WhatsApp or in the link and just talk about your game. I'm sure that it's gonna improve. So back to the topic, So now, so you start again with the highest red, position for the pink. Now I will try to get position for the lowest red ball. From here again, there is a little bit angle, but still I'm gonna play a ski back shot. How much control you have to complete this exercise is just amazing how good this exercise is. You're working on your technique, you're working on your cue ball control, you're working on understanding about angles and everything. So, that's just fantastic drill. And I missed. And you know why I missed the shot? Because I was thinking too much about cue ball. And because I was thinking too much about cue ball, I totally missed the shot. And that's only the mental side now worked. Because if I played that single shot, I never missed that shot. So that's the proof, that you have to work on your all-around game, which we do in our classes, to build a nice balance in your game. So, anyways, I have tried everything, loose grip, good follow through, but it doesn't have much screw. Kindly give tips. And what is the pressure grip? And look, this is the exact place what's going on in yourself. You're asking so many questions. Pressure grip, screw back shot. You tried everything. So that means that you are overthinking, but you don't know the actual reason what's going on. So you don't know the source problem, So my advice for you all guys, if you work on everything at once, on your grip, on your stance, on the cue ball control, on the concentration part, is not gonna work out. The human mind is developed in such a way that you cannot multitask. Pick up one area, work on that area. Once you get good at this area, move on. You have to have a strategy, a plan. Like in business, you cannot just do random stuff. Marketing, you can sales or product development. You cannot be good at everything at once. Step by step, guys. Pressure grip. Yeah, pressure grip, you're using, more middle fingers. And if you're using, front grip, you're using more like index finger and thumb. But there is players which are good with the front finger grip and with the pressure grip, like that. It's just all about developing habits which work for you on consistent basis. But if you are asking questions about 4 different areas and you are expecting that you can improve everything at once, that is not going to happen. But the positivity is that if you work on one area and you exactly know the problem, what it is, and you know how to practice correctly to overcome that, you have a very high chance to improve skill and your own game, in your form. I'm going to talk about lots about form because, I will tell you a story. There was like a Latvian championship. Lithuania is a neighbor country, but it was like Latvian championship. And there is one player who is 130 break standard. So that means he's consistent century maker, and he made a couple of 130 breaks in his, match play games. And he played against player who highest break before in the tournament and practice was 80 or 70. So that guy who was on 70, 80 break had confidence. He practiced a lot, he did correct things, and he had a nice calm mind. He beat that guy in the national championships in the last 16, 3-1. Should be 3-0, but 3-1 because, carelessly did some decision. So that guy in the next match who was informed, 70, 80 break player made 89 break. So he beat his highest break in the tournament by 17 points, which is already a sign that his form is good. And his average break, he made lots of 30, 40, 50 breaks. No, 30, 40 breaks. And before he was making consistent 25, 30. So his average break in that championship was higher. So highest break and average break. So his form to his standard, his level was fantastic. About 1.5 times more. So about, in our methodology, you're gonna know a bit more if you're interested. His form was about 50% better than his current level. If he could sustain that standard for the next couple of months, this is gonna become a new norm. Of course, he's going to have ups and dips, which is totally normal. But on average basis, if he is going to start to do that kind of results, that's going to be his new level. And to up his form, he needs to produce better stuff. So let's say if Ronnie plays against Jordan Brown, and Ronnie plays his normal game, like B game, and Jordan Brown plays his A game, it's going to be still Ronnie's favor. But Ronnie, if he plays slightly below his B game and Jordan Brown plays his A game, Jordan Brown on the decider could win. So that is totally possible, especially at the short races, best of 5s, best of 7s, win against even 50-30% better players than you. And that's a very, very important topic. That's very, let's say, practical ways to improve your game. And I'm sure that you're gonna improve that as well. Okay, I'm gonna look to the comment section. Let's see what's going on. Okay, brother, I understand this now. Start with the screw back shot pros and have not. Yes, because there is a reason why. Like through the text with you, the reason, okay, why the pros have screw back shot? Because their timing on many shots are better. They using their body and their cueing arm better and they are accelerating through the ball. That's like on paper knowledge, right? So probably if your screw back is not correct, probably you're not hitting to the correct spot on the cue ball. So if you're aiming low and during impact point you're hitting higher, so I'm gonna aim low. And during impact point, I'm gonna hit higher. So of course you're not gonna have any screw back shot. So my first tip for you would be, make sure that on the last backswing, your Q-tip is pointing downwards, like I am now. And even if you do a 10-second pause, if you hit through that point, you're still gonna have a screw back shot. But if you're looking for your level to do deep screw back shots across the table, that's not a very useful information, because first you need to do baby steps well and start to do screw backs for this kind of positions. That's how you improve. And then in gradual basis, you can increase distance and do screw back shots from here. The reason why I do screw back shots well, because I have a proper technique. I use muscles properly. It's not as complicated as you guys think. I have a very stable stance and my grip from my arm to my wrist working properly. And that's not gonna happen overnight. You don't expect that you just gonna come, listen from the body start, me, or whatever coach, that you're gonna do screw back immediately. You have to do baby steps like everything else in life. Start small, start doing screw back shots from the short distances. A very good simple exercise, just put the red just above black and do screw back shot from here. And get from the 10 attempts, about 8 or 9 times successful screw back shot. Don't forget to check your Q-tip. That's how you can start to build deep screw back shots. And when you get good, you just put a little bit longer distance and try to do screw back shot from here. Whatever, you know, baby steps. That's what I do with my students. We don't do any grandiose stuff that after one technical change, immediately you're gonna do fantastic job. It's like, you know, I heard the story, like some guys, you know, use a technical knowledge and then they come in the match play, use those technical tips, and they are surprised that it doesn't work. And then they go back to their old habits. So when you get a knowledge, you have to go back to practice table by yourself, train for the couple of days, and then you can play. And then you can expect a better outcome. Okay. To summarize, form and current level is different, same but different things. Form is how you play at the moment to the 1 month period, and everything else what is above 1 month period is your level. So that means if the top player losing in the first round, it doesn't mean that his level is low. It means at that moment he wasn't confident, he wasn't focused enough, or maybe he didn't train enough. And that's why, you know, they could lose against somebody who is, let's say, playing a better level, a better standard at that moment than their current level. As I said about Jordan Brown situation, or C, for example. So C was playing attacking game, and on paper he shouldn't get to the semifinals, but because he was full of confidence and his potting game was so amazing, he overcome other areas like safety or whatever. So for him to become a more consistent player, he needs to develop that area, and then he can expect to win a world championship someday. if we talk about Mark Selby example, he's, in my opinion, top 3, top 4 best players all time. So during whole championship, he was playing by his standard. So seasons before, he played below his standard because of the well-known depression issue. Now he came back. His attack game, his safety game, his tactical knowledge was just second to none. Nobody's better than him on that regard. And Luka was, after 2 matches with Ronnie and C, was full of confidence. And that's why Luka, it was one of the reasons why Luka, with his style, won the championship. And it's going to be see how his game is going to develop, or if he's going to stay the same. I personally don't think that with that kind of style, over the long run, he can win, multiple world championships. But, snooker is an interesting game. You never know what's going to happen. Right. Thanks, brother. Love from Pakistan. Now I use this knowledge in my frames. Sure. Use this knowledge to your advantage. Okay, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the workshop. If you have any questions, please ask me. I will help you out. Remember, if you're struggling with your game for the long time and you don't see progress, you can always text me freely, talk about the game, and I will help you out to find a solution to your request. Okay, enjoy. Take care.